Hello, Leo. How are you? Welcome. I hope you're doing very, very well, Leo. Let's see how things are going to be. Your available energies at this moment so you can use them to your advantage and see a situation from a new point of view. This reading is general. Take what resonates with you and don't discard the message. And it applies to all those who have Sun, Ascendant, Moon, or Venus in the sign of Leo. Remember to activate all the bells so you can get notifications for the new videos I upload. And if you want, you can follow me on my other TikTok and Instagram accounts where I will be uploading new content for all of you. If you need a personal consultation, you can write to the email shown on the screen, and I will send you all the information you need. Let's channel a message for the sign Leo. Leo? Leo? This starts with the Ten of Swords. We have the Five of Cups, and we have the Nine of Wands, and here we have the Star. There's no doubt that you've gone through a process. I see it as a complex process. This could be a healing process. It's like having regained vitality, having healed something very deep, emotions, maybe even something physical, something that took effort, that went through a long process. I feel that this situation has also come with a very important closure in your life, the end of a stage in your life. Has your mind changed? Your way of thinking, the way you see your life, your habits also? Have you closed an important cycle? Has it been hard? Yes, because those are energies that are kind of complex, emotionally speaking. Does this have to do with reaching a limit in a situation, something that had to change by force? Saying, well, this is as far as it goes, or has this habit also reached its end up to this point? I have to make another decision. So what is it that you have closed, freed yourself from, or detached from? Beyond the fact that the emotional process has been quite deep and you've gone through many emotions, what I feel is that you've shown great willpower there. Moving forward in terms of not letting this situation drag you down, or staying here looking back at the past, at what is gone, at maybe what hasn't worked out. Or if this is related to a health issue, illness, it could be different for each of you. So what I feel here is that you have energy, that we're talking about a Leo who has been strong, who has been persistent, who hasn't given up. Despite all of this, I feel that you have to see this situation as a test that has made you stronger. Here we have a Leo who has gained a lot of energy, a Leo who has recovered from something deep, who has regained his energy, who has regained his willpower, who has gotten back on his feet. He has also learned from this, from what has ended. And now you really have a vision for a new future. That's why you have such powerful energy regarding your health recovery, healing, and also closing wounds. I'm not just talking about a physical wound in some cases. Does this also have to do with an emotional wound? If you have gone through a situation, whether it's a separation or situations of detachment, or relationships that have also ended, that is, what has all this left you with? What has that situation left you with? That's why I see a Leo here who regains his shine, regains his health, his energy. I see you as renewed from the inside out. There are people who I feel have helped you a lot, who have supported you, who are supporting you. And it's like you're starting to regain that confidence that maybe at some point had been lost. Your energy is being completely renewed. That's why you've gone through a great process of healing and recovery. Let's see where this reading is going. We have more general energy for the sign of Leo, energy sign of Leo. Here we go. What else do we have? You guys, you have the King of Clubs, we have the Four of Coins, we have Temperance and the Hermit. Well, there's no doubt that the reading is very focused on health, on balance, on regaining balance, strength, and energy. Returning to that balanced state where you feel healthy. Not only do you feel healthy here because your energies are starting to balance, but you're also regaining your power here. That's why this Leo who is becoming empowered feels so strong. It's like saying that situation has awakened an inner energy that was asleep. To start connecting with that fire, with that personal power, with that talent and that passion, with that boldness. In other words, we're moving forward. I see a completely renewed Leo at this moment. In terms of energy, in terms of personal growth, I feel this too, like an alchemy process, like a process of transmutation, where the shadow is also transmuted into light. I feel that this is a substantial change. Now, many of you have learned something here, or I feel like you're also going deeper. What has this transition, this situation left you with? And there's something here very related to the topic of whether there have been attachments. Knowing how to let go of your past, knowing how to let go. Maybe if this has to do with a person who has left, if there could also be an energy of some kind of grief here, this could be metaphorical or emotional grief. Whether it's on a personal level with an old version of yourself, or if this has to do with a bond, with a relationship, of processing those emotions, of also accepting what is ended, what is gone, and also having the ability here to let go, to not hold on so tightly or get attached to what has already served its purpose. Because there's a pretty strong energy here that's telling us about that. Wanting to keep things under control, resisting what's coming, resisting change, saying, no, I don't want to let go. I don't want that person to leave. I don't want to let go. I don't want to give in. Maybe all the energy is pushing you. Something needs to end. Something needs to be released because something else is coming. Another stage is coming. There's a bridge to cross. I see you in a rather introspective mood. Maybe right now you're very questioning what has happened. A Leo who is also shedding light on many very deep parts of himself and also accessing great truths. Maybe all this energy is telling us about the power of detachment, the power to let go, to reflect on the topic of attachment, detachment, and to be able to let go in order to keep moving forward. This can also be reflected. Pay attention if this doesn't have to do with a person. If there has been any, for example, if there has been a toxic habit that has a story behind it, or if it's been a habit for a very long time, around there, it has been hard. It has been hard to let it go, hard to release it, because there was a kind of attachment, a habit already established. But I think the decision's already made. The willpower here for the change or to start that new health routine is much stronger. Let's see what else we have. Leo. You have the Hanged Man. What? Justice, the Seven of Wands, the Devil. This is very related. Pay attention to a toxic habit, a toxic attachment, a person, a relationship as well. This could end up being. I think you've gone through a long process with a lot of questioning. Have you started to see this from a different perspective already? Like looking at it from the other side, saying, yes, this isn't working, this has to end. This situation with this person is toxic. It's not bringing anything healthy or productive to my life. But I see that there's kind of a chain there where there might be situations of control, manipulation. I mean, I really don't want this. I don't want it in my life because it's not good for me. So that's why I say, is there something that you know deep down wasn't good for you, that you were unconsciously attached to, that was hard to let go of? That's why I relate it so strongly to the topic. Beyond that, whether it's reflected in a person, in a relationship, or in the matter of a habit, of saying, it's hard for me to let this go. I know it's bad for me. I know it's not good for my health, but the attachment is there. It's like saying, now you all have the opportunity here to make a decision. There's a lot of balance in your reading, and this means that you are making decisions to reorganize. It's like a Leo who has taken very precise actions and decisions to put in order what had become disorganized, or what has gone to an extreme. Or if there have also been situations of excess, imbalances, or very strong attachments, that is to say, this can't go on anymore. I can't tolerate it any longer. On one hand, my body has given me signs, warnings, and it's like, no, I don't want this anymore. That's why we're very determined, setting those boundaries in this situation. To say, I'm not going to give any more energy or personal power to that situation or that person, but instead, start turning that power toward yourselves as a power of regeneration, a power of health, of healing, of truly feeling better about yourselves, whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually speaking. All right, let's see what we have in terms of your advice, dear Leo. All right. Let's take the advice from the oracle here. You have number 77. It signals it's time to let go of old habits, patterns, and fears. Now is the time to pursue your greatest desires and ambitions. Now is the time to be bold and brave, and the affirmation it leaves you with is, I am bold. Dear Leo, this is what we've seen for all of you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you here next time. Thank you.